You come home, you like my groceries, is it on my milk? I
I
mean,
know that's how my wife is. She'll like Lysol bags down, and she it's just bad,
it's
man. And
pathetic.
then you don't want to have bad manners. You want to acknowledge people and say hello, but it's like I don't even want to say hi because I don't want to. I don't want
People start
your
talking, you're like,
air.
hey,
Yeah,
backing up, how you doing? I'm like,
yeah.
man, I don't like living like this. I don't like the spirit of fear. I mean, I don't know. What's your take?
Yeah, man. I think that this is, I mean, I've looked at this as an opportunity to really, do the deep work, do that work that I couldn't do before. So it's
Mhm.
like, I mean, and I've got a lot of projects that just didn't happen or just haven't been released yet because I'm so busy outside the house, so
What you
it's
mean?
like,
Elaborate a little bit on that, Jay. What do you mean by that?
yeah, man. So like I've got this introduction to real estate investing course that I've been working on since November or well, October, really. October. And then just, and it's just so much editing to it and all that stuff where like I haven't been able to do that. There's a lot when it comes to just social media, when it comes to just content creation, a lot of things that you're doing around YouTube. Um, like it's just a struggle. That's kind of, I consider that like the back end part of my business, where like the front end is, getting dirty, going to job sites, hanging out with contractors, doing walkthroughs, doing wholesale appointments, all that type of stuff.
Mhm.
And on the surface, that feels like the moneymaker. That feels like, man, if I don't do this, then that can be almost considered more revenue generating.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's hard to be able to take that step back and focus on kind of the foundational things and what I'm calling legacy. Those things that will remain, that when you are no longer here.
You talking about the assets or the digital assets?
Yeah, the digital assets, the content, man.
Which
What
one?
I've realized is like, man, like the course that I'm creating, like I'm thinking of it. I'm going to give this to my son, right? Like I'm thinking I'm creating this course for my son. I'm just happening to let other people use it. I'm
Great
just happening to let
philosophy.
other people, subscribe to it and engage with the content. But this is really for my son.
That's how you got
So
to do it.
yeah, yeah,
That is the mindset. Like when they
right.
see Grandpa here, look what Grandpa Justin left us.
Exactly. And this is a new digital age.
Look what Grandpa just. That's the whole thing. I'll be telling people all the time. I'm like, listen, you need your grandkids to hit a button
Yep,
and go. If
for
they can't
sure.
do that, dude, I mean, it's
What are you
not for
doing this for?
everybody. Well, you're
Yeah.
right. Wow, we could talk about that all day, Jay. That's cool, man. I'm
Yeah.
glad you. Have you always? Is this a new mindset that you've had, or have you've already adapted that? I feel like it's
Man,
kind of.
it's evolved. It's evolved for sure. I got to the point where, when I first got into real estate, I was such a consumer of content. I consumed a ton of it. And I got to a point once I started getting experience and gaining knowledge and getting, some wins and really experience under my belt. I'm like, man, I need to, no matter, and it's one of those things that plays in my head sometimes, like, man, you're not the expert, right? Like what do you have to say that other people haven't already said? Or what do you have to contribute that's better than, other people? But it's like everyone has their own perspective, and there is someone that identifies better with me than maybe with you and vice versa.
That's right.
Um,
Or
like I
with
said,
anybody.
yeah, or anybody, right? So it's knowing like, man, if you got that conviction, and I do, I have that conviction that, man, I feel like I need to be doing more, telling more, talking more, exploring more, and like I said, creating something that I can bottle up and give to my son and say, hey, go read this, go study this, because you'll know how dad did it, and that's what I didn't get. I didn't I didn't have that from my father.
Me neither,
Um,
bro.
so it's one of my duties.
That's cool. Roundup, thanks for joining us. I'm hanging out today. We are hanging out today with Justin Carter. Justin, I know you're in Ohio, but what municipalities are you in?
Yeah, I'm in Summit County, Stark County, Portage County. These are like Akron area, so home of LeBron
Akron.
James. Yeah, northeastern Ohio, just south of Cleveland, probably about 30 minutes south of Cleveland. So yeah, kind of northeastern Ohio area.
And your affordable housing, just to get my rounduppers in a perspective. Affordable housing here is like 130, maybe 160 and under. What's
Okay.
affordable housing? Well, yeah, affordable housing. Well, on the market side is 160 to 225.
Okay.
When you look at the stats, but I know from doing a million houses, I know people are looking for 160s and under. But just the
Right.
general, like if you look at like any publication, where are
Yep.
you at in Ohio?
You're typically like first time home buyers. You're like 65 is on the low end. You could probably get a nice, decent turnkey, no issues. You might be in a kind of sketchy neighborhood up
Kind of
to
sketchy.
maybe, yeah. So I would call like 65 like a C neighborhood, C minus neighborhood.
Unbelievable.
And then up to about 100 is probably a great
You
newly
live in sweet.
renovated. Yeah. I mean, I did one that was like 185. We sold it for, man, and it was like 4 beds, 3 baths, all new everything on a half
Big,
acre, great
big.
neighborhood. Yeah,
How
so
big was it?
185, you're living like a king, man. 200 is like you probably got a pool in the back, you got a jet, you got a runway.
I love it, Justin. I love it.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are, it determines what you get.
Absolutely.
That is
Absolutely.
so cool. You can't get in nothing here, man, for a 4-bedroom under 200. I mean, it would be nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow.
You know that. You've been here before.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's quite different markets, man. I mean, I would compare it similar to a Detroit, but
Gotcha.
I don't think it's they go as low. I've seen Detroit, you get houses for like $1,000,
Yeah.
and crazy stuff like that. Where we're I would say probably a little more than that, but I would compare Midwest range.
So we're gonna get into some of this market shift stuff. I want to know your thoughts, your forecasting. But my dad, I used to go to Toledo a lot. He worked for Ford,
Okay.
servicing the plants up there in the D. Is it the
Got it.
same? Is it the
Yeah.
same feel for Cleveland area, Akron?
Pretty much. Yeah, it's just a little I would say what is that, west of Cleveland, but yeah, you've been to Toledo, you've been to where I live, that area then.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yep.
a lot of farmland out there.
Yeah, yep, a lot of farmers, man, a lot of corn and just produce produced. It's very easy to just be on the road and see a bunch of corn rows or apple trees and stuff like that. So very, very, I think, modest living. It's a used to be the rubber capital of America. I think it's coming back now with Bridgestone and Goodyear coming back to Akron, because these are where those companies started. So a lot of that infrastructure is here. A lot of those older buildings are here. And there's a lot of gentrification going on. So that's kind of the return of Bridgestone and Goodyear and all that coming back to where they originally started.
That's cool, Jay. Well, thanks for coming back to the internet. I was wondering, I couldn't sleep at night wondering where you were. I know
Man.
You weren't posting. I'm like, where is Justin?
I needed a break, man. I needed a break badly. Just inundation, man. You can get so consumed in just the content, and you don't, sometimes it's hard to remember or know which thoughts are yours and which thoughts are someone else's.
Wow.
And that's where I felt. I was like, man, is this me that wants to do this? Or is this me that actually wants to make these calls? Or is this somebody else? Am I trying to keep up with someone else? Or am I trying to accomplish someone else's vision plan? So I just really needed to, and it's just being mindful of it, man. I've had to be more intentional about, my ear gates, my eye gates, what I consume.
Oh my gosh.
Because, man, I mean, you understand, like when you think big vision, like we do, I think we're also sensitive, right? It's like artists, like I feel it's an art form, right? And so when you release this type of content and you see, maybe negative comments and negative remarks, that type of stuff, you're like, and you try not to let it get to you, but or you post a video and you're like, man, this was good, but no one's watching it, or whatever it is, man, and you just
whatever it is.
Yep.
I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm just agreeing with you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, it's just being mindful of all that, man, and knowing, where to really put my trust, and be assured that, like, I'm creating something that I'm happy to create. Like I said, for me, I've had to really center it and say, man, would my son benefit from this information? Would my daughter benefit? So I've had to, like, take the focus almost off of people and create things out of a more of a pure place, and out of a place that, you know, I don't feel like I can get discouraged, you know, if I'm creating something, and, you know, it's like, man, this is for my kid anyway, you know, this is for my legacy anyway.
It's for your daughters, yeah. This is for your daughters. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm like, this for my girls. I mean, they're gonna
yeah,
watch this stuff and be able to go click. All right, let's go here. Let's do that.
yep. And I
Pop a
think
hat.
that's where, yeah, and that's where, like, I think this is the new book, right? I think what, you know, there's a quote out there that says, you know, it was really talking about Black people. It's like, if you want to hide people from Black people, hide it in books, right? That was like it's a quote out there. I think now that new quote now it's changed, right? To the new platforms are online and digital. So where you used to have to get things from books in a previous generation, now there'll be online and there'll be content. So
Thank
I'm
God.
looking at this as capsules. Like, can I put together a capsule? Can I put together a calculated frame of thought and get that to my son and to my daughter?
Nice.
You know, because this is the information age. So it's like, you don't know necessarily how much information or what information to trust. You don't know what's right or wrong. So like, I'm a component of YouTube University, but if you don't, like, you know, and I support all that you do, man. I mean, you've given me so much, so many tools that I've got in my toolbox because of just subscribing to your content. But a lot of people don't know the real from the fake, and so I think that's why, like, just what you do with having consistent trains of thought and really a catalog of data and information that you can bottle up at any time, and you do it, you know, and bottle that up and package that and give that to your kids. I think that's phenomenal.
Wow, that is cool. I'm so glad that you're saying that, because I know we're supposed to be talking about real estate. We all want another tangent.
I know, right? How did we get here?
Dude, that is my philosophy. I'm begging my inner circle members, but it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
2, I'm here to tell you, my friend, content is the new real estate. I don't care who you are. Content is the real estate, you know, because even when you're going to see a homeowner, they're like, I already know you. Go ahead and look at the house. People don't even, when I show up, it's like, go ahead. I mean, just whatever. I mean, I don't even have to build rapport.
That goes so far, man. The funny part about it is I've had that happen. I've had, you know, because people are going to look you up. Like, I don't
from the jump.
Yeah, like, there's even a guy. Catch this. There's a guy on Facebook. So I'm looking to buy iPad Pro, and I'm trying to get a deal, right? Like, I could go to the store and buy one, but I'm like, man, maybe I can find one gently used on Facebook Marketplace or something. So someone has it posted. They have one posted, and it's like, it's probably $100 less than it could probably really sell for. But the guy doesn't have like a Facebook. He doesn't have a photo on his page. There's no post. Only thing that's on the page, like, it was a page that's a few years old. Only thing that's on there is the iPad that's listed. And I'm just like, but like, that's the same thing that's true when you don't have a digital presence, when you're wholesaling, when you're calling people and telling them who you are, and they say, okay, and they look you up and they say, oh wait, this person has followers, they have content, they are who they say they are.
Family.
We've got people in common, right? Like, oh wait, I know that person. You know, I'm friends with that person. And my last wholesale deal actually came as a result. Man, you know, I called them, let them know who I was, and they looked me up, and they're like, "Oh, we know who you are." I'm like, "Oh, cool." You know, so yeah, you didn't have to really talk. So that goes a long way.
Digital footprint. I'm so glad you're creating your own digital footprint, because if you don't, the internet will do it for you. Someone else will create a footprint for you. Roundup. Anyway, I can't say it anymore. Let's get into this real estate craziness, man. I'm not that anybody is thinking too much. I mean, we are doing real estate, but no doubt this stuff has just gone berserk up where you're at as well.
It's been nuts. It's been nuts, man.
So how's the market? Hold up. Before we get to real estate, how is your city? Are you shut down? Is there nobody around?
Yeah. City's been shut down for a few weeks now. You know, we're shut down until the end of until May 1st, technically. Right now has been our statute is May 1st. But you know, everything's closed down, but essential businesses and all that.
Gotcha.
Yep. So it's a tough one.
How are you thinking about, tell me about your business a month ago as opposed to what it looks like today?
Man, it's not dramatically different from like my day-to-day. I think, well, my day-to-day is
still out willing and dealing? looking
Yeah,
at
no.
contractors?
So a lot of, like I said, a lot of it now is really over the phone, obviously. And really, man, just like staying connected with everybody that I've done business with. Cause again, it is very different. Like I'm in the middle of a flip project right now.
Oh
And
boy.
that project, like the person who my GC on that project has degenerative heart failure.
Wow.
So for him, right, like if he gets sick,
Come on.
he can't even take medicine. Like he's very high risk, right? So like that project's
He's
on hold.
quarantined. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like
he's quarantined. He's done. Like don't come outside.
he's been that way, no doubt. I mean, so for
Yeah,
him, from the jump, he was kind of being quarantined.
yeah. Well, he
Okay.
does. He wasn't. He should have been. He's like I had to tell him like, dude, like I don't think you should be outside because he would still be working, right?
Wow.
But yes, I've got a project on hold right now. That's not moving forward.
Tell me about the money on that, Jay. How does the money? What money are you using, and how do you feel about that money?
Yeah, so man, so I'm good from a number standpoint. So from an all in, I'm comfortable there. But when it comes to how the money's divided, I've got a partner, a lender on that deal. And so we pretty much did 50-50 split on that project.
No
And
payments.
so
You don't have like a hard money guy that's going to be
no,
whacking you or come. Okay, so all
no,
right, well I
no.
can live with that. So basically,
Yeah,
it's
so
either
that one
more
helped.
or less. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was gonna say that helps to not have that.
Yeah.
And somebody
Yeah.
like, but the person that was partnered with me, right? We had an expected completion date, and that was that was this week, I think. I think it was
Okay.
middle. What is this? It was middle of April is when we were expected
Yeah.
to be listed, ready to go, and so we're
Mhm.
like, yeah, that's not happening. So it's a little
So
scary because this is my first having a renovation project during inconsistencies in the market and
mhm.
uncertainty. And like I said, I didn't, when I first started, man, I mean, I've only seen this in the marketplace. I started in 2016.
Holy
So
cow.
yeah, so I don't know 2008 and 9, or 2007 and 8. So it's a little nerve wracking to be in the middle of a project and to have unstable market.
Just come to a wow. Yeah. So the good thing about this one, Jay, I'm thinking in my mind, it's either more profit or less profit, but not more outgo for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I say that, I mean you don't have a guy that's waiting for monthly payments,
Right.
going to whack
Right.
you for fees. So it's either more or less profit. I mean,
Yeah.
or break even. It's not like you're gonna be having outgo, right?
It's not that pressure. Yeah. Yeah. It's not that pressure. But yeah, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
good,
That's
Jay.
the
I mean,
case. I
that
mean, it
means what?
helps that I'm in that spot. Because I just got out of one that was similar to that, that was, a lender deal. And so it's like, man, that one just finished right before it was all of this craziness happened. So
Really?
yeah. So I'm glad to have that done, because I don't because again, that would have been a different conversation.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've been telling people now is I think this shift is going to really purify the marketplace when it comes to investors. Like I
Why you
think,
say?
well, because integrity, right? I think integrity wins in these type of situations. And when it comes to lenders, when it comes to private money, hard money, whatever type of money you're using, whatever resources you have, I think if it's agents, title companies, whatever. I think a lot of now that everyone is they're pulling resources in. They're only going with people that they really trust.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, yeah, like before, like I could find a deal and have 3 or 4 lenders ready to go, like, hey, yeah, I'll lend, without even looking at them often, just, yeah, I looked at the address because the market was solid and we're heading into the summer. But I think now, no one's getting calls back unless they got good rapport. They've done deals with them. They've made money together. They built trust. They said they did what they said they would do. And I think these are the times when integrity wins. And the people that can keep going are people that have built a good rapport in the marketplace
That's
and
right,
built a
Jay.
good business.
That's right. And
Yeah,
money attracts money too. They want to do deals with. Well, from my experience, they want to make sure that I enjoy deals with people that got money,
yeah,
as
yeah,
opposed to they're like, look, how much you come,
yep,
how much you got? I got this, you got that. All right, let's roll.
yep. Skin in the game. And it makes a difference. It makes a big difference. So yeah, it's like I said, I think there's so many moving parts to this that I mean, it's still new, man. I mean, this is still fresh. I'm like last week, I've seen deals fall apart at the table. Like I've got 2 friends who have had deals like at the closing table.
Tell me about that, Jay. I don't want to get to
Deal
your
was
rentals.
funded.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so deal was funded on these. Like they got pre-approval, deal was funded. They're at the closing table, Chris. Money was already wired. They're signing docs, and they get a call from the lender say, "Hey, we had another look at this, and I'm sorry at the last minute, but we've got to back out."
Unbelievable.
Like, could you return funds? We can't allow this deal to go on.
Was that an investor deal or an owner occupant deal?
Investor deals. Okay. Yep. So it's like, and I think that's what we're in the middle of. When I talk to my friends, all of the larger, hard money companies and lenders are frozen. Funds are frozen, and a lot of the deals locally, a lot of the investors use those type of funds. There is private money locally, but a lot of investors use, Fund That Flip and Lima One Capital and all those other larger, more nationwide, services, and a lot of them are frozen funds.
Wow. What's weird? I think you're about the 8th investor that I've heard that this has happened to. They funded the deal and still recall the money. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah. I didn't either. I didn't either. But hey, I guess when you got the money, but I think too, it's title companies, right? Like who knows? But like, I'm sure title companies don't want to get in the middle of that and say, no, we're going to fund it anyway, and then have a lawsuit on hand or whatever. So I think everyone is being extra cautious. From the title companies to the lenders to everyone, appraisers, I'm sure.
Roundup. We're hanging out with Justin Carter in the Akron area. Cutting grass. Thank you for your time. Roundup. Get your questions in. This man has been in the business for a short amount of time and has amassed a rental portfolio, and you do flips. Are you doing lease options? Did we talk about that?
No, I haven't. I've done some subject twos, but I haven't done any lease options lately.
That's cool. Well, Steph did one the other day.
Man, I seen that video. He knocked it out the park. I had to send him a message, like, dude, like those are the ones that you talk about, for a long time. Those are the ones you put in the trophy case. Just how he worked that, man. He worked it.
He's a good guy. I just feel like people. I just want to look, man. How much you want a discount do you want on that loan? I want to give you. He's like he worked mama's best child. I mean, everybody loves him.
Yeah. He took risk. I mean, he took some risk with that one, man. When it, because when at the hindsight is 2020 once he got it, renegotiated and all that. But that upfront risk that he was banking on, man, I don't know if it was his gut, if it was, there's that intuition you get. I don't know what it was, but how he pulled that out is awesome.
Roundup. I'll give you the link in the video description on the one that Stephanie. Matter of fact, I met Justin through Stephanie. He did an unbelievable subject to lease option about a month ago, and I'll put that video in the link. I'll put that video in the description below. So let's talk about your rentals, my friend. Tell me about your rental income. How is it looking right about now?
Yeah. So ultimately, man, it's scattered, right? So I've got tenants who are able to pay rent. And then some that aren't. And so I think it comes down to, like in Ohio, there isn't a, they won't stop you from actually filing an eviction, for non-payment of rent and things like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. There's no law on it right now. So if you want to,
it's a nationwide thing.
No, it's done. Okay. It's done by the counties themselves. That's something that the counties, I think the government, the feds kind of let the counties decide how they wanted to handle it. Gotcha. So in my county, if you want to, you can do a 3-day notice. So, man, it's a challenge because, well, I would say it's good and bad. So the good thing about this is that everyone is being impacted by it. So you don't have to explain anything to anyone on why things are that they are. So when it comes to that, if tenants are calling me and they're saying, hey, I've been furloughed, or I've lost my job and I've filed for unemployment, but I still haven't gotten unemployment yet. I mean, I've got tenants who are like 2-3 weeks waiting on an unemployment check.
Could be.
They've gotten approval, but they haven't gotten anything that hit their bank yet. So so for me, man, I'm to a degree, to a fault, I'm very like I try to be very helpful and very mindful of people and their situations. So you know, it's talking with each tenant, knowing that all of them have their own individual issues or situations, and then like building that plan, you know, because like the thing that I'm concerned about is these most my tenants, I'll say, I can't say in general, but my tenants live like check to check. So for me to think that my tenant is gonna pay me back 2 or 3 months of rent once everything gets back going, I kiss that goodbye.
Won't happen.
So it's one of those things where you try to stay on top of them and say, hey, like, if you got it to pay, please pay, because I don't want you to get behind. And I don't want you to, you know, have to go through this, because I know that this is unfortunate. But if you got it, don't try to push this off, and don't try to you know, just hold on to it, you know, for a rainy day, because this this is the rainy day. Like this is the rainy day. So so it's one of those things, man, where I've almost become like a not credit, but like a money and budget savant with tenants, you know, telling them how to manage their money. You know, like again, some of my tenants, they don't know how to live past a check. You know, they don't know.
Part of life.
Yep. So it's stressful, man. Luckily, the how mine was structured is it's a seller financing deal. So it's a guy, and I'm not writing a check to like Chase Bank or Wells Fargo for mortgages. That's going to an individual. So
that's good.
So he understands, right, and he gets it, and you know, we're working through it.
So one out of, I don't know if you want to disclose how many rentals you got. Give me a percentage out of 100%. How many rents are in for the month?
Are in?
Yeah.
I would call it like 65-70%.
Ain't bad for a pandemic.
Yeah. Like I said, most people that I know aren't financially affected. Like there's only well, because most people that I know, they're working still. They so like there's like probably 1 or 2 that got laid off, but most people they're still working, whether it be working from home or whether it be like picking up a part-time or side job or something like that. Like I don't know many people that aren't working at all.
I see. When you say you don't know many people, are you referring to your tenants?
Yeah. Tenants and just in general. Like I mean, I think I probably know 2 or 3 people that I've talked to. That when I say I know, I probably know more. But when I talk to people, hey man, how are things going? You know, what type of impact are you seeing? 95% of people that I know are working from home. You know, they maybe some of their hours have been messed with a little bit, or they've had to readjust hours. They may not like the work right now, you know, especially if they're in the healthcare space. They may not like, you know, how their employers handling this pandemic and keeping the resources clean and sanitized and all that stuff. But most people that I've talked to, they still have some means of income outside of like unemployment.
Roundup, but the reason you'll see me live several times, Roundup, literally, I mean, I'm home working from home. My family's here. My wife's pregnant. We got the 2. I want to bring to you, Roundup, what people are doing around the country, so you don't have a false idea of what's going on. You'll hear it from the experts that are doing this stuff. So that's why I'm bringing these people on, Roundup. I think it's crucially important that we know different parts of the country, what's going on. Are we all being affected? Okay, this market's good. All right, what about that market? See what's going on from coast to coast. So let me ask you, are you into Section 8 at all? Do you do any of that?
I have one Section 8 property that money came. that hit. It came. That came like first of every month, like it normally does. Good. So it's one of those things, man, where I think Section 8 is winning. You know, you got people that right now have a lot of government subsidized income. They're fine. They're not seeing any effects of this. So that's nice.
Like
Yeah.
They came in like clockwork. You know, it's
Yep.
weird. I was thinking about so crazy, Jay. Over the last few months, I've been thinking about converting a few of those to Airbnbs.
Ooh.
So glad I did, Jay.
Ooh. Yeah, I
Airbnbs.
didn't. How is your because Airbnbs are they're not doing anything right now.
Done. That's why I applied for that SBA loan. I'm like, I was thinking
Yeah.
about not doing it, but I'm like, I'm at hell of money. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm at zero.
Gosh.
So, are you
Yeah.
applying for any of that money, Jay, or are you going to ride it out?
I do want to apply for. I'm planning to apply. Like my business bank is through Huntington, and so Huntington, like you got to call in. And I think it's like the for the SBA stuff. They're referring me to like or to Huntington, and I guess Huntington is
Gotcha.
supposed to be, you know, you're supposed to set it up directly through them, I guess. And so I
Maybe.
was supposed to call in. I just haven't done it yet. But again, for me, I'm looking at the delays in the project that I've got going on. You know, there's still holding costs that's there.
Taxes,
Yeah,
insurance,
taxes, all that.
utilities.
My time that I would allocate to pay myself for my time invested in that property, that's lost, you know. So so there, you know, I think there's the unemployment, or there's the unemployment, the self-employed unemployment that I guess is introduced as well as the SBA, the loans that are out there. So yeah, I'm still exploring it to see like what should I do, both, if I should go one or the other. I just haven't made a decision on it yet, but it is
It's on your mind
for sure.
When I look at guys like you, I think of guys, you're doing the right thing. You're planning for the future. You have savings. You built up a little bit of capital. I don't know your whole finances, but I want to say you did the right thing over time.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily know how this is going to affect you, Justin. So my question is, being that I had the same conversation with my wife. I'm like, I've been saving. I've been paying off houses. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I've been doing this. Blah blah blah. Try to do everything right. How do I know it's going to hit me? I don't know until we're okay now, but I'm like, I don't know until I know, right? So what is your process on that? Because you don't know what you're going to need in 30 days.
I don't. Yeah, man. I think just you go back to your principles. So again, you go back to the number. You see why the numbers have to be what they are, right? So like for the flip that I've got going on, I'll be all in 65% ARV. So
that's great.
You know, so if the house will sell for 100,000, I'm all in
65,000.
Yeah, 30 days. Right.
Gotcha.
So I know we're not going to see a 50% drop in the market. You know, it'll probably be maybe 10% at best right now is what it's looking like. That, you know, it's speculation, I should say.
I was going to challenge you. I was going to challenge you.
Yeah, it's speculation. Yeah, so a lot of people are from what I'm hearing in the marketplace, what I'm hearing on the retail side. I'm not talking about the investing side, but you know, this we're selling this house retail. So I'm hearing investors I'm hearing investors say, man, some prices are slipping a little bit, but that's for the not good properties. There's still a low demand of for sale houses. There's still low demand. There's still low supply. Sorry, there's still low supply. So as long as there's still going to be a little bit of supply, as long as supply will still be low, it's one of those things, man. I think there's always competition for the best. I don't care what market it is.
Cars,
like the best, food. Yeah. For the best stuff is always competition. So I'm just like, this house just has to be the best. Yeah, you can't throw anything average out right now. It's got to be good. You got to put together a good project. You know, good flip. And if you put together a good project, they're still going. There's still multiple offers. You know, people are buying houses just off of video conferences with their agents and doing all that stuff. So man, people that got pre-approval, they still want to buy a house.
Yeah.
And that's what encourages me. You know, it's not like 2008 at all.
Yeah, where the whole market just kind of sees, I guess, the credit. They weren't even lending.
They weren't even, yeah. And what do you know, you're done after that. And then there was no equity. So that's the thing too. Like a lot of people got equity now.
Yeah.
You know, 2008, there was no equity really. You know, there was when it comes to like the overall, like because they were loaning out on anything and everything, the mass market, that's why so many people foreclosed, because there was no equity. If you got equity, you could play. You could buy yourself some time if you got some equity. But I think now the fact that there's a lot of equity out there, you know, people that have held their home since 08 or 2010 or 2011.
Yeah.
So I think those are all components that encourage me to think that there's not going to be a massive dip. I think there'll be a correction. I think this is that correction that a lot of people have been speculating for a while.
Everybody's been talking about it, right on the tips of the tongues of everybody.
Yep.
But Jay, I'm thinking once again. I'm thinking about you. You have a house. It's not gonna, when it's done, it'll be vacant. Everything's new, clean. No one's, it hasn't been lived in per se because you're doing everything new, as opposed to the mom and pop could be living in it.
Yeah.
They have to leave the house. They have to make sure they're showing. So would you say that gives you an advantage being an investor selling a property?
For sure. I mean, this thing will be staged. It will have the best photos on the market. It will look the part, right? And it will be designed to attract the most buyers. And I think that is the advantage. That's where I think that's where the best comes in. I think those are things that make it the best. If someone is, like I said, selling their dated property, I believe there will be challenge there. I think those will sit longer. Yeah, because again, if people are looking to buy houses today, like they're not buying. If the market is uncertain and there's been speculation in the market, people that are pre-approved right now, I doubt that they want to buy a fixer upper right now. Like, you want to buy something done that you don't, you still glad that the bank is still holding on to your pre-approval. You're calling the bank saying, "Hey, I'm still good for 150. Okay, I'm gonna go get 150. I was gonna go get 80 and use do a and I was gonna do a loan or a short-term loan, or do a cash out refi on my home and do some improvements. But no, now I'm gonna go get it all, right? Like, we're not gonna play. We're not gonna piece this thing. We're not gonna be cheap. We're not gonna be too creative. We just gonna go get what we want, and we're gonna overpay for what we want and
get it over with.
Yeah, I think it made buyers more serious.
Wow, you got some good points, man. You're a good thinker, brother. You're a thinker. Did you go to school somewhere?
Yeah, I went to Kent State, but I didn't do anything. I didn't go to school for real estate or anything. I went for business entrepreneurship.
I mean, you seem like a thinker, though, a philosopher.
Yeah. I'm always thinking, man. I think that's one of my biggest tools, man. One of my biggest assets is to think my way out of something. Like I said, I'm always looking out, trying to figure out what are people doing, what, like, cause and effect. If I put myself in that position, if I got a pre-approval right now and I knew that this pandemic was going on, would that make me reject and say, yeah, I'm gonna push this back for another year, maybe, until everything settles? Or is that going to expedite my process? Is that going to say, you know what, I need to hurry up and find something? Because and for me, I want to hurry up and find something. If I got a pre-approval yesterday, I'm trying to do my best to find something, and I'm less price conscious because I'm more focused on getting something secured, because there's not much out there. The supply is still low.
Tell me about your rehabs. I know here I'm having to do granite, stainless steel appliances, hardwood, everything brand new cabinets, custom cabinets, the Home Depot, Lowe's crap, which I hate anyway.
Yeah.
We use your wood stuff. Ceramic tub surrounds. Jay, tell me about your typical renovation in Ohio.
Man, so if I go higher end is makes you laugh. Higher end, if I go higher end, it's like a price point of 150 and above. I gotta go granite. If I go 150, I've got to go granite. If it's being sold as a fully renovated property, I've got to go granite. Got to go stainless steel, luxury vinyl. You got to do the ceramic tile surround. All
Same
that.
Thing. Okay, the same.
Yeah, thing. But typical for me, I like to turn about like 60 into 120 is typically like my number. 65 into 120 or 125, and that's kind of my sweet spot. I love that range. Range, because that range, I'll still do granite, or not granite, but I'll still do stainless steel appliances. But I can do I won't do granite. I'll do the what is that called? The Formica countertops. I've got a custom Formica guy who makes them look like granite.
Cut it.
Yeah, he cuts it great. He does rounded edges, man. He'll Yeah, and it looks really good. And at sight, you don't know what it is. You know, you don't know the difference. In photos, it looks well. So I can get away with that. I don't have to do custom countertops or cabinets. I've actually had to ever do custom cabinets.
Wow.
I could typically go with prefab, Home Depot stuff.
Okay.
And make
they
it
don't
rock.
Care. Buyers don't care. I don't like them, but the buyers don't. They don't care.
Yeah.
They look the same.
Yep.
Round up, get your questions in for Justin Carter. The man is rental property, does flips. Subject to, I guess we got to bring you on over to lease options eventually in the long.
I know, man. I think this is that time. This is the time to start. I think now, like I was just talking to my really good friend today, and I was telling him, I think, you know, because someone asked me, I put a Q&A out on Instagram, and I said, you know, I just had people ask me real estate questions, and someone asked me, is wholesaling dead? Is wholesaling dead now that we're going through all of this? And I said, no, I don't think. I think in the traditional, if you're a one trick pony, if all you got is the assignment as your wholesale, I think you're struggling right now because you just got that in your toolbox. But if you've got subject to lease options, sandwich lease options, if you got mortgage wraps, man, you good. You're like, this is I can now. I've got a better chance to pitching subject to and getting that to land than I ever have before. So I think for the creative and for the professionals, I call them for the real estate professionals, I think they're salivating at this opportunity. Because for me, I'm getting more calls now, like calls that I didn't get before, or that people didn't return my call from a lead standpoint for like wholesale deals, off market deals. They're calling you now. They're saying, "Hey man, yeah, I seen you text me like 3 months ago. I just wanted to see if you're still interested." I'm like, oh, okay. You know, the pendulum always swings back. And
crazy, bro.
Yeah. So it's, man, I think it's just one of those times, man. I think this is something that I think the players want. You know, like I almost think of it like in a basketball analogy. And it's like, man, it isn't a blowout anymore. Like it's getting competitive. You know, and I think for a competitor, like someone that's been doing this for a while, and you live for the sport. I compare it like to a sport. You know, you live for the sport.
It is a sport.
And it's like, man, you know, the clock is ticking. You got the ball in your hand, and it's getting competitive. And I think the people who practice and put up a lot of reps and done good deals and built relationships and have been integrous and have been, not that they've been perfect, but that you've operated in a professionalism. I think those are the people that will continue to win, and no matter what state of the economy is in. I think those are the things that lead out.
So are you telling me it doesn't matter if real estate is going up, down, left, right, forward, backwards, or sideways, that there is a way to do this business?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of, there's people that made tons of money in 2008. Tons of money.
We did. Okay.
See, like, and so it's just, I think, opens up opportunity. And if you're not afraid, it's like have you ever read that book, Who Moved My Cheese?
I have.
Yeah. So it's the cheese is moved.
It's gonna move.
Yeah, it's moved. And if you're still going back to the same spot looking for that same piece of cheese, you'll starve and you'll almost die. But if you could find a way to reinvigorate yourself, give yourself some new knowledge, some new information, I think you'll be just fine. I think we'll be just fine with that mentality.
Cool. Well, I've had you for 45 minutes, Jay. I'm going to get to a few questions and Q&A if you don't mind.
For sure.
Round Up family, get your questions in. This brother, Justin, I remember when you showed up at my house, I'm like, okay, got a young buck here. Let's see where
I remember that, man. I remember that. I thought when I left your house, I was like, man, this dude is different. He's interesting. You know, like you had the camera on, man. You had a brick laying there. It's like, this dude, he pulled out the cameras, was like, can I record this conversation? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, listen, I thought we were just talking. But now I get it. Now I get exactly who you are now, man. I get exactly who you are. And I appreciate who you are, man. You've been a blessing to me, for sure.
Wow. Nice. Would it be nice to have that? Like, this when I met Justin. Check this out.
Yeah, right?
You see where I'm going with this stuff? Go.
Yeah, I thought you record. I don't know what you did with the film. You had the record button going. We were talking about a specific deal. It was a package deal we were trying to do. But
I'm trying to remember. I think the audio, because there was so many people at that meeting, I don't think I got the audio good on that
Oh
one.
yeah, probably wasn't.
I
Because it's like
tried
3
though. Roundup, get your questions in for brother. I can't wait till your course is done, man. I'd like to offer it to my
yeah.
rounduppers if that would be okay.
I would love to. I would love to work on something. And even like I said, I think a part of it that, and I wanted to talk to with you offline about it, is especially some of these creative strategies that you are the better voice on. Man, I would love to have them included, especially with this pandemic, because I think people have to know where the cheese is moved, and they have to have these strategies that leverage the creativity that you have to knock out some of these more creative deals. So I'd love to figure out a way to include you in that.
Yeah, let's do it, brother. Yeah, I'm down. I mean, all I'm doing that literally, I'm at home for the next whatever.
Yeah.
Jay, rounduppers, before we get to Jed's question, for my rounduppers that may not understand who moved my cheese or didn't read it, give them your perspective on the actual mental capacity, understanding the whole concept and applying it to the market and life.
Yeah. So it's pretty much a story that the mouse would go get up every day and go and eat, and after a while, the mouse got extremely comfortable with its food always being in the same place. It didn't have to do anything special that day. It just got up and went and got its cheese. But there was one occasion where the cheese actually moved, and the mouse continued to get up and went to the spot where the cheese used to be, hoping that the cheese would eventually appear again. The mouse kept really banking on magic for the cheese to come back again. It was the guy. Yeah, exactly. Insanity, exactly. And so eventually the mouse, almost died, not moving to where the cheese had moved to, or not going to or looking for the new cheese. And it's a book that really pushes you from a mindset standpoint to to continue to look for where the cheese is moving and where it's gone. And if you are in a place where your old successes aren't as common anymore, the cheese may have moved. And and it helps us from a real estate standpoint to know that we have to be mindful of new opportunities and when things are different. And I picture it like a pendulum, and it's like the pendulum. At one point, the pendulum might be where you are. The wind may be blowing your way. You may have flipped 3 great deals. You may have made a ton of money flipping houses, but the pendulum is always going to move back at one point, at some time. No one knows exactly when it's going to happen, but the pendulum is always going to move back. And if we're not careful, we can bank on our old successes and let those take us to the grave, because we aren't able to move and change with the new deal and new flow.
Jay, I want to just add on to that. I mean, I think that was a great synopsis, but I want to add on to that. Should we be, for me, I'm so glad you mentioned that book. I'm like, I thought I got out of the book, like, expect the cheese to be moved. I mean, don't even try to think it's going to be the same location.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And I think when there's almost something I believe comes in my nature. When something is too easy, it just doesn't feel right.
Like, whoa, hold on.
It's like when I start, and that was the thing that I started to see. I started to see people making money in real estate without much knowledge. Or, I started to see an influx of wholesalers jump into the market. And I'm like, this is getting interesting, or everyone's an expert now. And when you start to see those waves, and those were for me kind of the precursors. Those were the early signs that I'm like, we're riding a wave of some sort. And so that's when I started to expect something's going to happen, something's shifting.
Jed, let's get to some Q&A roundup. Get your questions in for Justin. He's in the Ohio Akron market. Thank you so much, my friend.
Absolutely.
What's the best way you like to find your deals? Is it at the foreclosure auction, or what's your best way, Jay?
Yeah, no, I like to off market, just really pulling information. So I do quite a bit of different lists. I can do like delinquent list, tax delinquent list. No, man, I think for me, I try to find there's a few sites out there where you can kind of list stack. So you can really find like properties that are on that hit multiple different buckets for you. So maybe a property that has back taxes as well as it being vacant.
Gotcha.
Right. So I'll try to find properties that have 2 points of motivation instead of just delinquent properties. So for me, between that and then driving for dollars, that my last 3 deals that I've gotten wholesale wise, I ended up wholesaling them and assigning them, but they were driving for dollars, driving neighborhoods, spent a few hours on a weekend, and source leads.
Is that with the app that you're using, or do you have another way?
Yeah, so I use Deal Machine. I love it. Great app, great platform. Very easy to manipulate. You can export your properties into Excel sheet. You can put it into your CRM if you have one. Load it into your dialer if you need to dial. So that's the way I like to do it.
All right. Well, Roundup. If you don't know Deal Machine, I'll put a link to that below so you guys can get a discount. I think David hooked up some from a Roundup, as I can't remember what it is.
Nice.
But I'll put that in the video description too. Roundup. Day. Am I saying that right?
Day. I'll say Day Morris.
Hey, nice to meet you, investor in Ohio. How would someone get in touch with you, Jay? Social media. I know you're blowing up on IG.
Yeah. So social media, just _ Justin Carter on Instagram, Justin Carter on YouTube or Facebook, and I'm on YouTube as well. So Justin Carter on YouTube. Any of those platforms I'm on.
Each one teach one. How you doing? I live a few hours away, Justin, in Petersburg. No, Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Do you do deals in that area? I've been there. That town is scary.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, the city is. I love Pittsburgh, the city. I don't.
It's pretty,
but I've only been to like. Yeah.
Got a little airy feel to it. I mean, I'm like,
it's the steel curtain, man. It's the Steelers, man. Unless you're a Steelers fan, you won't get it. And I'm a Steelers fan, so each one teach one. I hope you're a Steelers fan. I hope you're a big Steelers fan, but I don't do deals in Pittsburgh.
Why y'all the only people, and I know nothing about sports. Tattoos, haircut.
Yeah.
Like, man, y'all crazy.
Cars painted, emblem. Yeah, it gets it gets crazy.
Crazy. Dragon, what up, Dragon? What happens to your appraisal money if you pay for it and they recall your money? That's a good question. Anybody heard of that?
It's lost. You still got the appraisal.
Out. I would think you're done.
If the services have been rendered, you don't think you're getting that back. Yeah.
$9.95 a good residential price to pay for an appraisal so you can get a hard money loan. Good God.
Too high. That's really high. I would say half that. I typically spend like $500 for a formal appraisal.
They were $250 when it started, Jay. And you know what's happening? These lenders, Dragon, they are padding these deals, man. They're murdering people with these fees. You know,
yeah.
You
seen a $5,000. My friend, he's a mortgage broker. He works for Fairway Mortgage. You know, pretty large and known mortgage broker. He posted a photo today of origination fee from a bank being like $5,000.
Well, if there's a half of,
this is a $140,000 house. Man, had a $5,000 origination fee. Crazy. So I think even the lenders are upping their fees now because of the risk, because the speculation.
Jake Chisholm, what up, bro? Long time no talk to. Anyone in the market to borrow money? Oh, it's insane.
Yeah. But people are still lending it, man. People are still lending it.
Yep. What do? Is that a question? There will be properties in 30. Yeah, could be. Section 8 is tough because tenants are rough on the property. Kenny, that's not my experience. I'd like to ask Justin, what is your experience? Kenny wants to know Section 8 is tough because tenants are rough on the property. What is your experience?
I've had a little bit of both. I'll be honest. I think it's people. I won't say it's Section 8 tenants that they have a higher rate of destroying your property. I just think people have a higher rate of destroying your property. So I've had tenants that have taken really good care of my properties. They've moved out, and left it in great shape. I also had a Section 8 tenant who destroyed. When I say all profit for that year went out the window once they moved out, destroyed the property. So I've had both.
Kenny, yeah, I just don't let the bad ones in. I have a very
Yeah.
stringent pre-screening process,
Yeah.
and if I smell something wrong, I'm like, I just give you application feedback. I just keep your money, but just
Yeah.
not for me.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
telling you, it feels so when you get to a point in life and in business where you can say, this isn't for me. Your
Yeah.
life is so much
That's wisdom,
easier.
man. That's wisdom. I'm getting there. I'm not like when I first started, I was so opportunistic.
Oh,
Anything that looked like a deal, I was going for it. And I over time you just learn like, yeah, that wasn't worth my time. And you
well,
start
neither
to get selective. You start to get smart. You start to get patient. I think patience wins. In this sport too. So I agree with you.
I'm like, I don't need this. I don't need another
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Jamon, what other real estate markets do you buy in, Jay, and sell in, and how are those markets working out for you currently?
Yeah, I only buy currently in Ohio. I did quite a bit in Virginia and Baltimore with Darren, DC. So we've done some projects and deals like that together, but they weren't buy and holds. They were flip projects or
Gotcha.
opportunities to kind of get in and get out.
Gotcha. Jay saying the money is running out. Money ran out. The money, okay, 177,000 apps. Wow.
Man.
96
Yeah.
money has run. I didn't know that. I don't know. Either
Yeah.
way,
See.
man, it don't hurt to apply. That's
Yeah.
all I was saying. Deborah, Chase is giving everybody the Dow tone. They were never ready.
Ready to
I
do.
believe
No,
that.
I've been hearing about that. Like I said, I don't think a lot of these banks, none of them, I mean, no one could
They
plan
weren't
for
ready.
this type of demand. So none of them were ready. And that's I was concerned because I thought you could just do an application online. And then when I seen Huntington, they give you a little form where you could submit information, but it's not a application. You just submit information hoping for a callback. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out some time when I can call because I knew that it wouldn't be a 5-minute call. It'd probably gonna be hours.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
Yeah.
Justin the Gummer. Is there a good hard money lender or private money lender that you can link with out of a Columbus? Before you go there, Jay, explain to her or him, I don't know. You don't have to go so deep, but explain to her your relationships with your private people as opposed to hard money and how you would do that.
Yeah, yeah. So private is people that really, I'm their confidant. They trust me. They more invest in me than my property. Um,
Yep.
so those relationships are near and dear. So if I've got a private money relationship, and unfortunately I don't know you, Day, so I wouldn't be able to refer you to that. Hard money, that's going to be someone who they lend for a living. They are hustlers just like us, but they lend the money instead of
Also
utilizing
money.
the money. Yeah, they hustle money. So you're going to pay typically much higher interest rates. You're going to have much higher points up front. It's going to be a substantial cost of cash versus like a private money, and they're not going to be as flexible as you can. Like I said, with private money, the current project that I'm in the middle of, it's private money. I let them know, hey, they're in it with me, right? They're calling me. We're doing FaceTime, Skype, and I'm like, yeah, man, this is tough. We had to put the project on hold. And they're like, all right, we'll buckle down and we understand, we
Good.
get it. So
Good.
there's a difference there. Day, like I said, I don't have any private money lenders I could recommend. Hard money, all of them are frozen up that I know of, and I don't know any in Columbus that would extend that far.
Dave, private money is the key word he said, which he didn't necessarily emphasize, is me. They believe in me, so it's not like private money. I'm sure Jay can talk to you about getting your own private lenders. I'm sure you have no problem doing that.
Yeah, yep, yep.
But his private lenders, that's the word, private lenders. They
Private.
believe in what he's doing.
Yeah.
People ask me this everywhere. I go, hey, well, I need a private lender. Private. Let me ask you, Jay. Did these people come to you? Just frame it up for my viewers, my round uppers.
Yeah.
Did these people come to you like, hey, I'm a private lender?
Mm.
Or did you go to them, present an opportunity, and turn them or convert them into a private lender, Jay?
Yeah, none of them really called it private lending. They just wanted to figure out a way to make some money
Pretty
and
much.
do some stuff in real estate. And so none of them actually. It's interesting. None of the private lenders that I have, none of them I went to. All of them came to me. Um, all of them, you know, see me on Facebook, or they may have heard from me through a friend or through a relationship. Someone says, yeah, man, this dude Justin, he's doing good with this, or look, you know, look at the photos, his before and after. And you know, people, you know, they found me. I did have, I think, one person that was a referral, and I had to kind of talk to them about my business. But it was, you know, these are people that you're telling them about real estate. They're not real estate professionals. They have 9 to 5s. They love their 9 to 5. They're not looking to do real estate full time or anything. They're looking for a passive way to make money and trust in somebody that that they can, you know, partner with and make some money passively.
Thank you for that one. That's Hanshaw. Justin is
there
the
he
man.
is.
It's
There's Steph. That's the GOAT right there.
The man. Good gracious. He should teach a book on attitude or mindfulness, man. This dude is gracious.
Steph is, yeah, he's off the hook.
Deborah Redfin, Zillow, Open Door, stop buying houses right now.
Wow.
Well, I didn't know that.
It makes sense. And I think what people really need to realize too is nobody's like these big companies that got their, I consider them institutional buyers. You know, they, you know, hedge funds, REITs, Open Door, Zillow, you know, these companies got billions of dollars to deploy. Like they're not getting afraid. They've got patience. They can say, you know what, like we're not just going to deploy this capital right now. We're okay with holding out. I think so many people are afraid of, like, everybody thinks that it's a crash if people are deciding to hold out. You know, it's like, no, people are just speculating. They're just like, all right, I'm gonna chill for a second. I'm gonna chill for a few weeks, a month to see what happens. No one's like closing up shop. I haven't seen any lenders close their doors and say we're out of business. Most of them are just holding their cash and waiting until.
That's me.
You know, so, yep.
Well, the thing is, when you've been doing stuff for a while, Jay, I'm almost like, if I don't have to buy, I don't, you know, I'm like, I don't have to buy a house. I don't have to do it. I don't have to do this. As opposed to, oh God, I got to get my neck, you know.
Right.
Back in the day, I'm like, listen, I can wait to see what's going on.
Yep.
Jalen, what areas of real estate did you see people making tons of money in 2008? That ain't gonna be you. Did you see that? Were you in?
No.
Were you born in 2008, Justin?
I graduated high school in 2009. So I wasn't anywhere near thinking about real estate at that point. So Chris would have all the context.
What areas of real estate? Flips, fix and flips. Yeah. Before the crash, everybody was doing fix and flips. We were buying houses, dude, at 80%, doing nothing.
Wow.
And putting it in the market and making 20 grand. I mean, I thought I thought I was smart. Then I realized how stupid I was. Because you buy them in January, and by July they've gone up 20,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
See, yeah, it's
stupid. You said it though. People making money without the what did you say? Making money without the education or without any experience.
Yeah. Right. People just accidentally, they just stumbling upon deals and stumbling upon. How you just stumble on 20 grand, you know, or stumble on 15? That is something wrong there. Like there's laws of averages that don't work out when people start doing that. Yeah.
Jeanette, hey, will prices drop on homes? We talked about that. If they do, should I buy personal property go into? Maybe she either means buy a personal house to move into, maybe.
Right. Yeah, man. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't make a move unless you had to. Right now, unless you got something looming over you and you gotta spend your money, save it, keep it. Like you're not, you know, work on your strategy, work on what may happen. It's like you got to move to where the puck is going. That's another statement. I think right now what we're talking about is where the puck is. But with the smart people, and Chris, you've done this already. So when the puck comes this way, you're already ready, dude. You've been doing this stuff for years. So I think moving where the puck is going is, hey, if we do see quite a bit of change and shift and drop in the market, got to be ready to pull out those creative strategies. And I would rather spend more time focusing on that than trying to recycle, 2019 strategies for what's going on right now. Just
you're done.
Yeah.
Problem is we can't. My lender was telling me, he was like, the problem is everybody's buying based on comps from before, and nobody knows where the market's going, so it's just unpredictable.
Yep.
Last question, Justin. How long have you been investing, and are you in other markets? I think you touched on that earlier.
Yep. So since 2016 is when I got my first flip. That was my introduction to real estate, was flipping a house. Well, I bought my first house in 2014, and then that one turned into a rental. So if I'm proper, I became an investor in 2014. But yeah, so since then, 2014, I would say.
Final thoughts, my brother Jay, for somebody that's actually, how about for new investors? What advice can you give them right now in the pandemic? We have no idea where we're going. What would you advise? Well, not advise. I don't want to make it advisor, but what would what is your opinion?
I would say, this is the time, if you're new, it's the perfect time to get in real estate. But come in with some information, come in with knowledge. If you're looking to come into real estate, I would say get a mentor, find someone that you can work and offer your services to for free. You will not miss out on money. You will not miss out on time. I think that's a lost art these days. So I would highly recommend that. A lot of people ask me, how do you get started? How do you get started? Man, start doing some work for free for somebody, post some bandit signs, answer the phones for a savvy investor, being Chris's comment feed, answering questions for him, like do whatever you can just to get close to this industry. But like I said, education, I think education is king, just like cash. So I would say also to better your financial position. If you don't have the amount of money that you need, start figuring out a way to do it. If you can't turn $5 into $10, you'll probably have a hard time turning 50 into 100,000. So figure out, how to get you a nice lump sum of money that you can deploy into your education or deploy into knowledge or deploy into just learning something to give you to strengthen your skill set. I think that'll be important.
It's funny you say that, Jay. I was with Patrick Bet-David 2 weeks ago, and he was telling me how people have to grow with their money. While a lot of lottery winners end up broke, as we know. But
yeah,
what did you say? Like turning 1,000 into 2,000 is a different skill set you're going to need from turning 50,000 to 100,000.
Way different.
And then from 100 to 5. I'm looking at myself like, okay. Tell me about your experience with that, Jay.
Yeah, I was that, man. So like for me, luckily, I was pretty good with money before I got started in real estate. I was in sales, and so I had made some money just selling, and some very expensive technology solutions to Fortune 500. So like I was able to do some cool things and save money and just, like I said, be savvy with it. But I was always like thinking, how do I flip? How do I, so for me, flipping, it just happened to be houses next. Like that was kind of my natural progression. But I was always flipping phones. I would get phones discounted online, sell them on Craigslist or eBay, or I just knew how to get something really cheap, do something to it, update it, or put it in a different market and make more money from it. So just like you mentioned, I think it's a level up. And so I think but for me, I mean, when I first started flipping, it was so many moving parts. When you see money like that come through your hands that you've never seen in like all in one time, you started to see like, this is how much I would typically make in a year over 52 paychecks. And this came in one paycheck, this came in one deal or one fund, right. Yeah. So it's a mindset shift. And it's like, no, you didn't hit the lottery. You've got to budget this and deploy it across your projects and manage a budget and manage a crew and manage expectations and being able to. So it's a lot of moving parts. And I couldn't agree more. I think we've got to be able to level up our money, our mindset, and grow with our money. I got to write that down. That is good. You got to grow with your money. You got to grow with your money.
You said level up. You said level up your mind with your money. I like, what did you say just now?
Yeah. You got to level up your mind with your money. Yeah, exactly. Like, the thing about, I don't like whatever the amount is, right? If you're used to having, let's call it, and this was kind of my situation. Like I was used to having maybe $5,000 in the bank, maybe 10 grand if I was being super savvy with cash before I started flipping, just like liquid cash. I used to kind of keep on me. But then, right, when your business is like 50,000 or 100,000 or more in the bank sitting there, it can be easy. Yeah, it's like it can be easy, like losing track of the 1,000. You can lose $1,000 without thinking about it.
Dude, I wouldn't even notice it.
You wouldn't even notice it, right? You wouldn't even notice that. but that is big, man. Like, because once you add, so it's like those type of things for me were new. It was so many moving parts, man. I was paying people. I was just like, yo, and then you're like, where'd the money go? Right? Like 3 months later, you're like, dang it.
You're not
So
even ready to get it
yet. Yep. So you've gotta, it's different. It's a different beast. It's a different animal.
Justin, I'm like, man, I meet so many, obviously this tons of people. I'm like, they want success. They want more and more and more. They want increase. And I believe that they deserve it. But I'm like, even if I were to give you, I'm going to give you $100,000 right now.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do with it? Do you have to add a discount to turn it into more hundred? I mean, to increase it. I'm just like the mindset.
Dude, that is such a profound, because like that's the thing. I think if people realize that to get 100,000, if that's your goal, let's say I want 100,000 in the bank, you got to have $100,000 strategy already. Like not that, you're going to work your way there. To get $1 million, you've got to have $1 million strategy. You've got to think, how can I make $1 million? And so when people have these goals, right, and they may be lofty, and I super support having big goals and things like that. But I think as far as thinking and learning how you can, like, what do you do with that? Again, like, how would you turn, if it might be easy to turn 5 into 10. It's probably, in my opinion, it's harder. It's harder to turn 5 into 10 than it is to turn 100 to 200,000. But like it's a different air. It's a different oxygen. It's a different level of thinking. It calls for a different version of you. That's the best thing that I can say is, the version of me that my business calls me to be now is very different than the version of me I needed to be when I was operating much smaller, getting my first deal under my belt. And so it's like, don't despise the small beginnings, because one day you'll sometimes envy those moments. Like, man, I remember when things were so simple. I remember when.
Wow. It's funny you say that. I tell my inner circle members, Jay, let me ask you, one of the things I regret, and the person that I am today, rental cash flow properties, we could buy whatever house anytime cash. I regret not enjoying my ride up, Jay. Not that I'm at any type of a level, but when I look back on my life, I'm like, my nose is so on the damn grindstone. I'm telling you, Jay, I feel like the last 10 years of my life has just been,
that's what I'm afraid of, Chris. That's what I'm afraid of, honestly, man. I'm afraid that my ambition and my grind will push me to the point that I forget while I'm doing it. Like I forget about the journey. I personally don't take enough time to celebrate the wins. You could get, I remember my first, I remember the biggest check I ever got, and it wasn't for me. This was all going back into business. And that's another thing. Like, people think that when you flip houses that you keep that money. It's like, no, you put it back in circulation. If you're smart, the moment you take it out of circulation is the moment it's dead. That becomes dead money the moment you get it out of that circulation of investing. So but I remember I got the first big paycheck from a title company once I sold a property. And man, it just, I didn't celebrate that. I put it right back, and I was just like, I was like, man, I want to just know how I feel for a second, but nope. It just, and just providing houses for people, man. For me, I think it's so important, especially when we do this business. It's about people. I think you do this because you love people and you like to take care of your community. You like to give back. I don't know that we do that enough. I don't know we talk about happiness enough. I think ambition gets in the way of happiness sometimes. And to say, you know what, I don't want to buy another house. I just want to enjoy what I got, and I'm good where I am. I think that's so admirable.
I think it's over. I think being an entrepreneur is kind of overrated now. It wasn't cool back in 2008. Nobody wanted to be
that wasn't a title. Yeah, you didn't put that in your bio. But it's like everybody, yeah, I agree with you, man.
Do that, dude. If you apply for a loan, you put entrepreneurs, automatic deny, so.
Now it is. It still is. Shoot, you talk about some self-employed, you talk about, man, that's a whole nother video, man, that we could talk, because dude, it's not all that people think it is. There's a lot of things that you have to be able to do for yourself when you are an entrepreneur. You're full-time, you're taking care of a family, you're supporting it. It's a different game, man. It's a different game.
Justin Carter, Oh, Akron, Ohio. How do people get in touch with you one more time, my friend? What is it? IG? I know you're the IG man.
Yeah, Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is _ Justin Carter. You could also find me on Facebook, just Justin Carter, as well as on YouTube. My YouTube channel is also Justin Carter. I would love to connect with you. Let me know where you're coming from. I love to follow, connect with the Roundup family. I am one of you. We're together. So
That's cool. Rounduppers, listen, tomorrow I've got a huge mortgage broker coming on. The guy's done 100 loans already, and he has something to tell you tomorrow. I don't know the whole story, but the guidelines are changing on these FHA loans. You better know what's going on. Even for me, like I literally just got Justin. How can you be mad? I'm mad because the damn short sale approval letter came in today. I'm like,
dang it.
I wasn't even thinking about buying this house.
I bet they are.
I'm like, why you want to holler at me now? I've been trying to buy this house for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the lender will come on tomorrow. Matter of fact, 2 lenders coming on tomorrow roundup. So make sure you hit that bell, subscribe, put it in the comments, and share. Please get this information out. I'm doing my best. I only got so many years left that I can breathe this stuff out. People to get started in real estate. I don't want you to be 60, 70 and own no assets. My biggest fear, Jay, let me ask you, what do you think about I'm thinking about before you got into real estate. For me, I'm like, I need to get some assets because I don't want to be on Social Security and living like eating dog food.
Right.
Serious, man. We laugh, but I'm like, what did that scare you, Jay, to own? Because a lot of guys, younger guys, they don't want to own. They just want to get that quick money.
Yeah. No, I've always known that wealth is built through passive income. That is built through buying and holding assets. So that was always for me the end goal. I think for me, I followed metrics that I didn't know what they meant until these type of things happened. I didn't completely understand why my mentors told me, hey, stay within these guidelines. I didn't always know why, you buy at this rate or you don't buy this or you got to stick to a number. I didn't always understand that. But now I'm like, okay, I'm getting this. Like, I see why I'm good. I'm protected. It's one thing to say it, but it's one thing to do it and know it.
Be hedged. I'm like, I'm so hedged. Paying this debt off. Round up. Listen, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Brother Jay, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, guys. Bye, guys.
Peace.